Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Exit Only Theater Podcast. I'm JP Lee, and I'm back. Well, sort of. Okay, so here's the thing. I moved out to the West Coast, and until the boys and I are reunited in some epic fashion, some kind of epic reunion of sorts, you're stuck with me in sort of a solo cam, Hollywood sign background shot. We're going to start with a bit of a quick introduction. We're starting things off with the New Guys review. It's a film directed by Shane Black, starring Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. Set in the late 70s. You've got that sort of film noir vibe. It's a detective story. It's a mystery. It's a lot of slapstick comedy. It's awesome stuff. I loved Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's probably one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. And my interpretation of this film is that it isn't as good. But it holds true to what Shane Black is really good at. He does a lot of things that are coincidental. So sometimes the plots can get a little convoluted and miraculous, ex machina moments happen. But you forgive him because you're entertained the entire way through. I think I read a review that said something to the effect of, Shane Black doesn't do anything new, but he's the kind of kid who plays in the toy box with his toys, and he plays with the same toys, but does it better than anybody else. So, I would recommend it to people to check it out, but I would say that err on the side of don't expect it to be as good as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or even as good as Lethal Weapon. I think it's a solid film. It gives Russell Crowe a chance to show his comedic chops, and Ryan Gosling has a physical presence in comedy that I think he's on par with Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton. I think someone even referenced the fact that he really likes Gene Wilder, so you just see a lot of that physical comedy come through. I would say check it out, but I was expecting a lot more, and I was a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. But I want to see what the boys thought, because they just saw it last night. So, Adrian, Sean, take it away. Oh, Mike, hey!
I don't know how, the smallest person gets all the room. I had to...
This is, I'm not gonna lie, you guys...
My fold is, saying hi to the angels over here.
I was gonna say, I'm big where it matters, ladies.
Wait, where does it matter?
If you don't know it, you can't afford it.
Well, thanks, Jen. Thank you very much for that review. She's back! Oh, God! We're just gonna slide that over to camera. Good Lord, man.
Dude, no.
Tell us how many there was.
This is my second icy. Large icy. Technically 2.5, because I went in and then I was like, oh, wait, we could get some more.
So we just got back from seeing The Nice Guys.
Yes.
Me and Sean saw the movie sober. Adrian, on the other hand, is all hopped up on sugar and is probably not seeing straight.
No. I haven't seen straight since 95.
Wait, what happened in
He
1995?
refers to 95 a lot.
What happened in 1995?
Space Jam, April 11th.
They're making another
19
one.
and
Wait,
95.
are you sure there was a Space Jam?
They're making another one.
Allegedly.
All right, let's do this.
It was actually...
Okay, so anyway.
It's a title ripped from a porn. Space Jam.
Speaking of porn, so The Nice Guys, what did you think of it?
That was so awesome. So awesome.
Look at me, I'm Sergeant Segway.
Yes. I want you to lead, because you're I know you and Jen, thank you, Jen, for your review. I'm pretty sure everything was positive. But I'm curious to see, you're the Shane Black
lover.
lover.
We have no idea, she got freaking slipped in there.
She said.
But did she? So, I've been in love with Shane Black.
In love with Shane's back for a long time. Sorry.
Indeed.
I've been in love with Shane Black pretty much since when I was in high school. I think it was high school.
It's pretty long man crush you got there.
I saw Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and this was before Robert Downey Jr. was cool again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was him and Val Kilmer in this weird kind of film noir kind of detective thing, and I saw that movie, and it blew me away, and ever since it has been one of my favorite movies. It actually made me go back and rewatch Lethal Weapon 2, but after Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, nothing else happened. It wasn't really a successful movie. Even though I loved it, it was terrific. Sure, he did Iron Man 3, and I love the Shane Black style that he brought to Iron Man 3, but it wasn't really a Shane Black movie. It was kind of like Shane Black doing a Marvel movie. It was fun, but it wasn't the same. With The Nice Guys, we kind of get Shane Black with a budget, completely unfiltered. Just here you go, it's your second go at a movie by yourself directing.
Shane Black
Well,
with legit stars
yeah.
too. Well, even though like you said before, yeah.
Yeah. Has a bit of a budget, has some stars. It's not a Marvel. Like it's really like his second. It's really like his second movie if you take away Iron Man 3, and I don't want to be hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. I don't want to be in that chamber. But
I do.
This movie blew me away. I'm in love with this movie. It is already probably shot to possibly my favorite movie of the year so far.
Ooh.
Whoa.
That's awesome. That's what I praise.
And honestly, like, I didn't want it to end. This
Yes.
is one of those movies that I've seen like along with Captain America and Star Wars and other things where I just wanted to crawl up inside and live with these characters like for forever.
I couldn't agree more.
I was in love with it.
Couldn't agree more. The one thing that I could totally tell from Shane Black, he's a guy that he is not going to change his style for anything or anyone. And in this movie...
I'm thirsty.
My lips are sealed.
I'm not sharing that.
Okay. You have to be talking. You have to be talking during this
Okay,
part.
this is what I'm gonna say.
I'm quiet.
Shane
I'm
Black,
listening.
Shane
I'm
Black
listening.
is awesome. He's one of those. It's one of those movies that literally cements him saying, like you said, it's like, look, he has a budget. It's his first like own movie, discounting Iron Man 3 of his own style, and he didn't change one bit at all. Did not change at all, and I loved it. Like I didn't know I was a Shane Black fan until I started watching being really more into movies as I am now. But a lot of my favorite movies, one of my favorites, The Monster Squad, was written by good old Shane Black.
Like, that
man.
was one of the first scripts he ever sold.
It's amazing to me, like how like somebody like that could have come full circle and be like, wow, man, I loved that guy's movies before, and now he's back. He hasn't changed a bit. The comedy's the same, and it's still great. It's just now there's more, there's younger eyes on it now than there were in the 80s.
Did you go through and look at the list of movies before? I went and Googled all the movies he's done and realized how many of his movies that I like.
Yeah.
Then I instantly got a little more hyped up for this movie.
Yeah, dude. Like,
and it proved.
I mean, most of it is writing work. I mean, because Shane Black in the early 90s became basically the world's most famous screenwriter because he was the first screenwriter to really get starting to get paid $1 million a script, $2 million a script. He got paid, I think, $2 million and change for the for the Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout. He did like incredibly expensive rewrite work on the Last Action Hero.
That's correct.
And it almost became like he was almost too famous, and everyone else started to hate him.
Yeah, because like it's literally as you described it progressively, it was right. Because after Lethal Weapon 4, which came out in 1998, there's a massive gap between that and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's 2005.
He wasn't even involved in Lethal Weapon 3 and 4. He famously wanted to kill Mel Gibson because he didn't want it to be like a series.
Yeah.
He was like way ahead of his time.
But what did you think about the movie?
I thought it was awesome, and at the end, I immediately wanted to see like the sequel.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I came out of the theater. That's the first thing I said to you guys as soon as I watched it.
Again.
What are your favorite parts of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into like spoilerish parts after we do the
Yes.
spoilers of it, but damn, I've never liked Russell Crowe more in a movie.
Really?
I've always enjoyed Russell Crowe, even though like he really hasn't made like a good movie, at least to me, in a while. He's made a lot of misses.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of liked him. I've never fallen in love with him, and I've always loved Ryan Gosling. I mean, who wouldn't? He's a dreamboat.
Yeah.
And the two of them together, it's like they have been friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, their chemistry in this movie is what makes the movie work. It just, they sing together. They should be in every movie together till the end of time. They have great chemistry.
They had really great chemistry, and after the movie, I started. Since we have a show, like one of the things that we always like doing is ranking. It's like, hey, what are the best like buddy cop or duo things? And like I haven't had this much fun with a pair since Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson in White Man Can't Jump.
Okay.
Like that's my favorite.
Do you
one.
think you guys like this a lot more because it's not a superhero movie?
No, wait, time out. Before we get to that question, I kind of wanted to piggyback off yours. Is that my favorite part was Ryan Gosling. I don't think I've ever liked Ryan Gosling
We all
anymore.
have a different favorite part.
Yeah, like for me, like for him, like I knew he was always like he had like some I saw him in The Big Short and Crazy Stupid Love. Like I remember you mentioned after the movie that like I knew he was like I know he could tell a joke, but I didn't think he was like a good performer for physical comedy, and he was really great. Like there were little moments where when he was talking, like this is not spoilery, but like there's a moment where they're like describing where Russell Crowe keeps his ankle gun, and he's just like, you know, when you keep your ankle gun and like just that little twerk, and I'm just like, that's fucking awesome. He gets it. He gets it.
And I'm so happy to see. Well, I'm so happy to see Ryan Gosling over the past couple years. After the success of Drive, it seemed like he wanted to go off and he did like Only God Forgives and a couple other things, and he wanted to try to like be like this gritty actor, or maybe end up being some kind of like super movie star, like he did that.
The Gangster Squad.
Yeah, the Gangster Squad. And he did a bunch of flops or things where like he just really went for it and it didn't work. This is just going back to Ryan Gosling, just being so likable.
Yeah.
And he's just...
You could tell he had fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was something that he attacked with kind of an interest that you're like, oh, I'm going to have fun with this. Like, yeah, Drive was probably his last really good role. And since then, I agree with you, where he just went after things that he probably shouldn't went after. But now he's kind of... You could tell that he learned his lesson. He's back, man. So what was your favorite part of the movie?
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I thought the little girl was awesome.
Oh,
she was great.
She was she was just fun, and she actually they didn't do what you figure they would do with it, like having a kid in the movie.
Yeah, so just kind of put him to the side or whatever, or just kind of have them be like oh no, the kid, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I like that she was there, and she worked off of both of them, and it was hilarious.
And this is like.
Like it was almost like a three-hander. Like
exactly.
And this is together solving cases.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, kind of going back on you, and you notice like kind of the way he treats kids. And like I'm gonna reference Monster Squad, but like there were moments in this movie where things happened to like young girls, and you're just like, wow. He didn't give a shit. And I'm like, that was awesome. Like, specifically, a girl in the window.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, pour her a little thing.
We'll get to that in
We'll get a thing. But what was the question you were asking? I forget. Did we like it because it was not a superhero movie?
Yeah. Did you think that enhanced the experience?
In the sense of it being kind of like...
I think it did for me a little.
It seems on this show we've been doing nothing but superhero talk for the past few weeks, almost to the point where like it's ad nauseum. Like, here's like this like breath of fresh air. Yeah, like it helped in the sense of like... We're not watching a movie where, okay, the world's at stake. This is just a movie about two guys trying to find a girl in California.
Yeah.
And yeah, that did help to me, but it was just, I think just because it felt so different than anything that I've seen in a long time, like not even the past few weeks.
It was like a throwback to like an older
style that's exactly
movie.
what
it was
Hollywood. Like if you ever like, it's like L.A. Like this movie's basically kind of just like L.A. Confidential if they weren't the greatest at their jobs.
Yes. Yeah. And coincidentally, like I remember Shane Black when I first heard about this movie. They asked me like, "Hey, so what's this Nice Guys movie?" And they're like, and he referenced it. He cited. He's like, "Yeah, it's kind of like an L.A. Confidential and all that stuff." And coincidentally, he cast two of the actors from that movie, and Kim Basinger and Russell Crowe.
Kim Basinger does pop up in the movie.
And like going back to what I said earlier, like he goes to what he knows. Like he grew up in the 70s. He's like, you know what? I like 70s style cop movies, and he went back to it, and it's so much fun. I'm like, that's honestly we could get like we always have like these debates where it like where we kind of like intellectualize a movie like, oh, wow, they were going like this or whatever, but at the same time it's like, can you make a movie like Robert Rodriguez? I always like what he says. He's always like, can you just make a badass movie that you, when you look at it, you're like, yeah, that's my fucking movie. Like that's what Shane Black does, and I applaud him for it because it's when you're watching a Shane Black film, and I you guys said like I enjoy superhero movies, but this is a really weird year where we just got back to back to back to back, and then getting this and like a couple weeks ago with Jen and her husband Jonathan, and you were there. We watched Everybody Wants Some, and that was, to me, like looking back on it now, like that one's probably my favorite movie of the year. Wow. And I look forward to seeing more. But yeah, movies like this are so much fun. But I'm kind of curious now that we kind of got through that.
Okay.
Do we want to get into a little spoilery stuff?
So now everyone, take the children out of the room. It's time to get into spoiler time.
Time to get spoiler. Spoiler now. All right. What was your favorite moment of the movie?
Whew. So many. Pretty much everything Ryan Gosling does in the final 30 minutes of the movie. He even makes a remark of, obviously we're in spoilers, where he keeps not dying to the point where he thinks he's invincible.
Well, yeah.
Where in this part, it was in the Red Band trailer, but it still wasn't spoiled for me, of just him trying to save his daughter, flying off the balcony, realizing that his daughter is actually completely okay, and he still falls and somehow lands in a pool, while Keith David, you know, the voice of the Navy commercials, just splats right on the fucking concrete, and then like he almost gets shot by the main bad villain, and just of course like the film camera's just right there. I just the little girl with the coffee, like just
oh man,
there are all these small little gags, but one of the things that made me just completely just guffaw in the theater,
I hope I know it,
was the villain chucking the girl through a window. Nothing, then boom.
I remember all of us were just like, oh. Everybody made that same noise in the theater, like, oh my god.
And then also like the 12-year-old like asking if they wanted to pay to see his big dick.
Yes. And that honestly, that one for me, I'm like, this kid, I'm like, bless this kid's heart, man. This kid just went for it.
He just did it.
Like,
He sent it.
There's so many good moments, but like, I think like the two that were most memorable for me, and I'm surprised you didn't say this one, was when Ryan Gosling is falling asleep at the wheel, and all of a sudden he turns around, and he's just like, there's a bumblebee, he's like, oh yeah, man.
He's having like the dream sequence, and then there's a callback to it where it's just like, oh, like where's your ankle piece? Oh no, you were dreaming that.
The part where he's just like, the car drives itself, man. You didn't know? No, no. I'm just like, that's so great.
What I love about this movie of like is just literally like every 30 seconds to a minute, like I was laughing or I was smiling at something. And at the same time, it's got the kind of film noir thing of course, there's a small little case, and it's also just like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, or where the two cases are all one fucking case. It's got that kind of thing where the story is just completely confusing and it's really irrelevant. It's just kind of an excuse for them to have an aha moment and to get everything thrown together. But that's kind of how noir is, and just jokes, and
it's awesome.
I couldn't get enough of Russell Crowe.
What was your favorite moment?
I don't know. I'd probably have to refer to everything the girl did again.
Yeah.
Because you would think that she would be the one getting captured. She didn't. You saw it coming. Like, you're like, they're gonna do it right here. Yeah. They didn't. And then they kept it going with her, and she was, I don't know. I think she was one of the best parts in the movie.
She was great.
I just like, because you didn't expect her to be involved like she was, and she was all involved. She was
in the whole movie.
Movie.
You know, when she gets in the limousine, I'm like, oh no, she's just gonna be like a freaking like a hostage for the whole movie.
Right, exactly.
Okay, fine. I'm like, but then she isn't, and I'm like, oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
And then they shoot.
They
shoot the daughter from freaking Leftovers. When there's still like 40 minutes left in this movie, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you don't expect that. Like, so the like the main part of the movie wasn't even resolved.
Yeah, I will say, like overall, the thing that I liked, and you touched on it, was, I wouldn't say, I don't know if you would call it spoofing or anything, but he made fun of just like the traditional things of old school like cop thrillers. Where my favorite moment was when Ryan Gosling's chasing the guy at the end, and he breaks through like 7 things of glass. And then I was like, oh god, and I'm just like, yes, that's so fucking awesome. I'm like, that's so great. I'm like,
what about at the beginning when he puts his hand through the door? He's bleeding.
Oh my Lord, I kept dying for that. Ryan Gosling, who is essentially kind of the main character of this movie, I guess. I mean, like it's him and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
But Ryan Gosling is a fuck up, and he doesn't get like better at not being a fuck up. He just kind of gains a conscience.
Yeah.
He stays a fuck up for the whole movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of just like a helpless version of he's Sam Spade if Sam Spade was a fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you refresh our memory who Sam Spade is?
Sorry.
Agreed.
The Maltese Falcon, The Big Sleep. I don't know if Sam Spade was a Big Sleep. I mean, but like
now you're throwing out movies without in.
of the Maltese Falcon, of and all this kind of Raymond Chandler movies with Humphrey Bogart and
okay,
which were referenced a lot in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I overall I love this movie. Is there any questions about this film that you guys wanted to ask?
Yeah, like any nits you want to pick?
Yeah. Any nips you want to pick, my friend?
Yeah, did they start shooting the second one yet?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, actually,
because I want everyone to be like the same age. That's the biggest thing. Like if they're gonna have the girl in it, which is a big part of the story, will they start doing that again? Because you want to. Well, that's what's fun about it is she's young.
Are they gonna have a sequel? Like is it
exactly
like,
that hasn't been announced.
The way the movie ends, like the movie ends of kind of like hey, and the movie could end. The ending for the movie works in the sense of like. Until they started working together, and now they're a team, and that's fine. Right. It's a perfect ending. They could also lead to a sequel.
Right.
And, like, I don't know if Shane Black would want to do that. I mean, like, he tried to kill his own franchise back in the day with the weapon. But I'd watch the hell out of that movie.
I loved it so much because it's been a while since I've seen a really great buddy cop style comedy. Like, it reminded me... You know, like Rush Hour was one that I loved a lot.
It was a direct throwback to all that stuff.
Yeah, I loved it.
It makes me want to time travel back to the 70s.
Makes you want to watch those
movies again. Watch some porn. Yeah.
I mean, sure.
We brought up porn in our last several podcasts.
Yeah, we're just like, look, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of porn talk in this movie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I love how they kept saying, like, when the girl kept saying, we made this experimental film. You made a nude picture. That's what you did.
You made a porno.
It was a porno. That's the thing. Like the conversations between, like even when they weren't conversing with each other, whenever they were in the same room talking to anybody, such as like the actor, that really hot actress with the afro came in at the end, and Ryan Gosling's just like, no, somebody must have switched the case. This isn't you. She just killed 3 people. Yeah, but shut up.
Maybe she didn't.
Of the dialogue in this movie is some of the best that I've experienced in a long time. Mm-hmm. Of like, you know me, like I ride or die for Sorkin. Mm-hmm. This is up there with like Sorkin's best work.
Yeah, it's fun. It felt organic. It felt like maybe they riffed on each other, maybe a little bit. There's some improvisational stuff, but it did like I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
Are you cool with the ending? The ending is kind of like a realist kind of ending of how sure they took down a couple people. I mean, but the villains kind of still end up winning in the end, even if they all survive.
Right. I'm all about that. Yeah, you know? For me, I think. And I think I like that about certain cop movies, where it's you could be like I referenced Rush Hour before. It's like, oh, you take them down, that was fun, that was cool. But at the end of the day, it's like when you're a low level cop, most of the time, a lot of your cases just leave your hands after a while. Yeah, and I'd like to see them not continue this case. Like, obviously, like you said, Shane Black doesn't like making sequels. Outside of Lethal Weapon, none of his movies have had sequels. So I'm curious to see.
I mean, he did do a sequel in Iron Man 3, but I mean,
I still like Iron Man 3, but
I'm with you.
I love Iron Man 3, but I'm interested in seeing if there's ever a time that I would like to see a sequel. I hope it's this one.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, is there any performer in this movie that's not Ryan Gosling or Russell Crowe or the girl that you're looking forward to saying, hey, you know what, that was kind of cool?
I'm curious to see more of this. Of the John Boy villain.
Bryce
Larkin from Chuck.
Yes, from Chuck.
That's what he's from, because I didn't recognize him.
He
was from another show too.
White Collar.
Yes,
the good-looking dude from White Collar also was in Magic Mike, both the movies.
He was he jumped off the screen to me I'm intrigued by him. I thought he was really, really. I thought he was really good. I'm also a fan of the girl that plays
the girl they're looking for.
The girl looking for. Oh my god!
I'm joking.
I'm drawing a blank on her name. They said
she's from The Leftovers, right?
Amelia.
Yeah.
And she plays Justin Theroux's daughter in The Leftovers, and she does a really good job there.
Yeah.
And I mean, she only has maybe 5 minutes of speaking in this movie. I mean, but like
she crushed it. It was funny.
It was a good 5 minutes. Like she nailed her scene pretty much.
Yeah. Any performer in this movie besides the big 3 that we mentioned?
He named the 2 that
Bryce?
I was going to say.
Yeah,
But I knew about Bryce, so I guess that doesn't totally count. Yeah. We only know him by Bryce.
Dude.
I was happy to get more Keith David back in my life.
Keith David's the man, dude.
Yeah, I love me some Keith David.
Yeah,
okay? Where have you been? hey Hollywood, can you put like Keith David in more stuff?
Yeah, he's the man, dude. I remember like he's one of those actors where you'll never necessarily you'll watch a movie and you're just like, oh, that's that guy. Mm-hmm. He's one of those dudes where he's so good in everything. Mm-hmm. He just blends into the film. Yeah. I think the one person that I look forward to seeing, and it's gonna sound weird, is the kid that made the dick jokes. That kid nailed the lines, man. I was like, he's like, you want to see my dick? Huh?
Okay. I started thinking about Sandlot when that part came on. No, just because he was like riding that kind of bike that they rode in that movie.
Okay. All right. The last question I have for you guys is, based on Shane Black's awesome movie library, where would you rank this? Like, obviously we just got out the showing. Where would you rank this in your movies of you don't have to put necessarily like a 1, 2, or 3, but say, hey, you know what? This is maybe my 5. This is most memorable.
I like it on top.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, towards the top, not on top.
Mm-hmm. I like it on top. Yeah. Yes.
No, I did that. Ignore him. Just ignore him.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
And of course, like you said, there's a chance of the recency bias of they literally just walked out of the movie.
Yeah.
And I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang like 9 times. I've seen Iron Man 3 or 4 times. I've seen Lethal Weapon a few times. So of course, like you have the recency bias of it. Mm-hmm. So take whatever I say with a salt lick.
Yeah.
But it's a favorite movie of his.
It's definitely up there. It's definitely top 3 for me. Like for me, from nostalgia,
like 5 fucking movies.
Yeah, but like as far as like written and all that
stuff, it's not hard to be the top 5. I mean, it's
true.
But if you throw the ones he's written,
yeah, but like I'm looking at the ones he's written, like
including like his written, his written filmography, still my favorite.
Okay, but for me, for nostalgia's sake, like Monster Squad for me is still like up there. Movie. That's my movie. That's like everything I like in film. But it's definitely top 3 for me. Like I love Iron Man 3, but I wouldn't put Iron Man 3 above this at all. I think The Nice Guys, I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, because it has his style like all over the movie. Mm-hmm. I look forward to seeing what he does next. Supposedly he had just signed The Rock to play a movie that he wrote and he's gonna be directing called Doc Savage. It's a comic book adaptation that I don't know much about.
Okay, gotcha. Like I've heard that been kind of percolating a bit.
And the rumor has it that he finished it's happening. He wrote the Predator. There's a new Predator movie coming out. It's the first one that he's worked on since the original.
Okay.
And rumor has he's gonna direct it. I look forward to seeing. I hope he directs it because I want to see a Predator movie with this kind of dialogue, with this kind of badasses, this kind of like mock macho-ness that I love so much about him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys.
So there we go. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ExitOnlyTheater. You can comment or like the review. You can find us on Twitter at all the various Twitter addresses you see here.
And at your local Stop and Shop, as I'm out of food.
He's apparently out of food. At Exit Only Theater. Facebook.com/Exit Only Theater.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram at Exit Only Theater. And of course, you can email us at exitonlytheater@gmail.com if you have any thoughts, want us to be mentioned in our next show, next podcast. We'll be happy to show any emails until we get of any thoughts or comments.
Send us photos. Send us all kinds of photos.
You don't I would like to say as the temporary esquire of this show, because Jonathan hasn't been paid yet.
This is true.
All of it.
Please don't send us photos.
Yes. Send us photos.
Do it.
Yes. But let us know what you think about the film as well. Yeah, let us know what your favorite Shane Black films are. But I think that's a wrap for us today.
Boom.
All right.
I'm Michael Kingery.
Sean Howard.
And I am Adrian. I couldn't think of a funnier thing. My name's hilarious as it.
We'll see you when the credits roll. And like
every time.
What exactly is this? What exactly is?
I can be.